Okay, good evening. Welcome to our Fighter Fit program for this Tuesday evening. This is going to be our last Fighter Fit for the month of January. We'll be stepping into our February program starting next week. So if you are following along with the Fighter Fit and you want to continue to do so, just check in. We'll be sending out the links and the connections for the archives over the weekend. So if you want to send in your e-transfer, we'll get you going. Okay. In the meantime, let's get rolling tonight. So we were last week working on some footwork exercises. We were working on the jab, cross, hook, cross combo. We were working on some roundhouse stuff. We're going to keep working on some of those as well as some mobility drills and some ground drills. I'm going to not do as much groundwork today because I took a massive tumble off the mountain bike while riding on the icy trails of Kingston mountain bike trails, and I'm pretty bruised up in my knees and hips. So do what we can for you tonight. As always, I set my pace. I'll give you some exercise to work on. If you want to back the pace down, go ahead. I'm an old guy. If you want to pump that pace up, absolutely go for it. Okay, let's get warmed up a little bit. Let's just kind of loosen up in the shoulders. So let those roll one way or the other at the arms. Circle around and the other way. Yeah, we're going to reach and lean to one side and reach and lean to the other. Again, we're going to go to the first side and the second. Let those arms go nice and loose and just kind of wrap around the body. Good. Okay, a bit of coordination and some shoulder mobility and range. We're going to lift the arms up over the head with the torso turned. We're going to turn the torso and let the arms come down. So we're going to twist to rise and twist to settle. Now, once you get the feel for this, you want to kind of let momentum do a bit of work, but let the turning of the trunk be where the effort is and let the shoulders be nice and loose. We'll go the other way. Good. And the first way and the second. Good. Okay, a little bit of stretch on that shoulder, pull it across. And same on the other side. Good. Over your head, you're going to kind of just hold the shoulder, elbow in place and let the shoulder drop. And then same on the other side, hold that elbow in place, let the shoulder drop. Again, if you've got more range of motion than me, for sure you can be going into this deeper. If you're finding the range is tricky, always modify. Yeah, so we're going to pull from behind the back. There's no sense in pushing too hard. Injury is the worst thing for fitness. So to the other side, so better sometimes just to work up, to build up to something rather than get injured and then spend time not working out, kind of like me falling off the bike. Okay, let's work on the hips. We'll let them roll around one way. Good, and roll around the other way. One more time, the first way and the second. We're going to continue to work on the hips because range of motion in the hips is really important for ongoing health. So we're going to come in with the foot. So we're turning the toe inwards. We're going to come across and out. So in and out, in and out, in and out. Good. A couple more. Now from the outside to the inside. So the toe is out, we're lifting up, we're turning it in as we come across. So this is really trying to work the ball and socket and the range of motion of that hip. So outside to inside, outside to inside. Good. And now we're just going to bring those knees up towards the shoulders. We start to get a bit more warmth in the legs. And then we'll take it up to the chest. That's it. Straight up, high as you can get it. See if you can bounce it off your chest to your shoulder. Good. Hands behind the head and we'll cross. Try and touch opposite elbow and knee. Good. And shake out your legs a little bit. Okay, feet together. Roll those knees around. And the other way. One more time, the first way. And the second. I'm going to stretch down and hang down towards the ground. and come on up. Okay, should have most of the joints in the body moved around a little bit. So we're going to start out tonight with a bit of a slower beginning, and we're going to work on some core isolation style exercise. Now, we've done this in the past. We were working on rotating and turning the ball, and we were kind of working into things like uppercuts and things of that sort. But today we're going to do an exercise from the internal martial arts again. And this one's going to do this. We're going to start with one arm, sort of the back of the arm facing forward, and that leg is going to go forward. What we're going to do here is we're going to take the other hand and we're going to bring it up, and we're going to just work on this. We're going to work on pulling back, but not just the arm. We want to work on turning the torso and then releasing. So you could pull, push. It's almost like you're tearing something apart. In the internal arts, they call it rending or splitting, where you're going in two directions and then you drive the fist. So you're going to go open and close, open and close. So we're turning, we're working through the insides, we're drawing back, and then we're firing. So we're going to work this side, for about 30 seconds to a minute here. Pull, push. You can have the hand open, you can have the back of the hand, you can twist and get a sense of drawing. If somebody's to move forward, we're hitting forward and pulling back, and then we're releasing and striking. That's it. At the same time, you're kind of working in your legs. You're pushing through the legs as you work this. And we're just warming up. We're getting some activity in the insides as we draw and push and draw and push. Good. A few more seconds. Weights shifting. You're kind of nicely into the feet on the floor, so you can feel the ball of the foot. The heel is there, but it's not super solid. That's it. We're drawing, we're pushing, we're drawing, we're pushing. Let's take that to the other side. So other foot's forward. And we're going to get this idea. It's like doing crunches almost. You're kind of engaging and turning through the abdominal area, through the lower back. You're pushing. Sometimes it's called bow and arrow concept. It's like you're drawing back on the bow, and then you're going to drive from the ground. Front leg helps to drive you back. Back leg helps to drive you forward. So you open and push, open and release. And a lot of the effort in this kind of work is in the wind up, and then the release is the strike. Wind up and release. Tight and release. So you pull back, you release. You never want to tighten up so much that you're kind of making yourself brittle, but you want to feel like you're working that body. Open and push. Just a few more seconds. Drive, pull, push, pull, and release. Okay, we're going to go back to the first side. And what we're going to do now, this idea of rolling back and pulling, is now what we're going to do is we're going to use our hand as a target, just for now. So we're going to go pull, touch, pull, touch. And eventually what I want you to get is this feeling, 1, 2, it doesn't matter how many counts you do. 3, remember the tension is released. You're winding up. I want you to release and hit. So you're going to go 1, 2, get in those legs, 3, and release to hit. 1, 2, and when you're ready, hit through. Give it a try. So a couple more. 1, 2, and then hit. Now the quality of the hit should be that you don't hit and withdraw. You want to hit and stick to the target and get that big knuckle projecting into your poor hand. Let's work it on the other side. So we're opening and we're closing. We're opening and we're getting a feel for the build up here. And all we're going to do is drop the weight, drop the mass, set in the hip, and fire. So 1, you're playing. 2, that's it. Get ready and release. Hit. Good. 1, good. 2, So you're really refining the firing order in the body. You're feeling the ground. This kind of front arm can be like an index, and you're pushing, you're driving against them, then you're going to hit. Last time, 1, 2, ready, and release, hit. Okay, shake it out a little bit. Let's get into our legs and into our hips. We've been using an exercise from the south parts of India, from the Kalaripayattu system, and this is part of their warm-up structure. It's a dynamic warm-up that allows some flexibility training at the same time. So it's a warm-up. Don't go ballistic off the start. Allow the movements to kind of work you through your range. So we're talking about hands up over the head, and we're doing this lift at the front, lift at the back. Now, you can do this without moving by kind of rolling that leg and just kind of going back and forth with one leg for a while, and then back and forth with the other. You could do this alternating, but not stepping very far. So you just step the foot down, do a sequence step, sequence. And what we're trying to do, and it's difficult to do, is to push the hands upwards at the time that the leg is coming up. Now, the way this is normally done in Kalaripat is with a nice deep step. So you go swing and then step, swing and step. So I'm going to do that. You can choose what's going to fit in your room. And we're going to go for about a minute or so here. So we're swinging. And this is a hamstring and quad exercise. Again, don't go ballistic, but it is active. It's an active way of working on your flexibility and a bit of your explosive power at the same time. So up, really release on this back stroke. So you're feeling the work in the quads. Don't hold the knee tight, and don't leave the knee side beside the other one and just flick the heel. Let that knee, almost like same kind of idea as doing a quad stretch where you're grabbing your foot. So front and back. Good. About 20 seconds more. That's it. 10 seconds. Good. Okay. We're going to move on to another variation of that theme. This one's a little harder, and it's a little bit more hip-based in terms of its rotation. So we're going to be looking for an arc with our leg that's going to cut across the body and then out to the outside. Then it's going to cut across the body and out to the outside. Now we're still doing that kind of reach back, but at the same time, we're going to change. So this is also a study of 45-degree angles. So we go around and we step on a 45. We're going to come around, we're going to pivot when the foot's back and step on a 45. Now, traditionally in Kalaripayat, that pivot is on the heel. If you want to modify it to the ball of the foot, you're welcome to do so. So we're going to, like we did with the other one, we can take it as a step or we can take it stationary, and we're going to go swing through the hips range and step, swing and step. That's it. If you want to do it staying more stationary, you can just hold the arms up and come around and then come around. You don't have to take a step out. You can just kind of put that foot back down. Again, I'm going to continue to walk the length of my space, and you can do the same. Again, we're going to go for about a minute or so here. You want to swing that hip around. Hip maintenance and keeping up with the range of motion of your hips is really important, especially for those of us who are aging, especially for men when they're aging. There ends up being a lot of stiffness in the hip. Now, for women with the hip issues, we end up with issues where the hip becomes brittle because of the lack of movement of blood and stuff in the area. So these are good exercises to maintain, because range of motion is a maintenance game. The more you maintain your range of motion, the longer you keep your range of motion. So a daily goal should be to take your body through its range. Make sure every day that body goes through a nice complete range of motion so you're maintaining it. Okay, about another 10 seconds or so on this exercise. So around, good. That's it. Catching those 45s. Okay, let's work a bit on some lunges. So we're going to turn one leg, we're going to lunge in on one side. We've been working on bringing the hands up over the head. I won't stay here too long, we'll hold for a little. And then we're going to bring the hands inside the leg that's on the ground, and we'll hold here. Let's turn that around. Let's take it to the other side. So we're lunging in. We've got the hands up over the head. Then we're going to bring those hands inside the leg and lunge. Keeping working on that range of motion. Good. Okay, now we're going to work on some core strength. So we're going to hold a push-up position. And then what we're going to do is we're going to step one knee up to touch the elbow and back, and then the other. And we're going to do 10 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. Okay, let's come to a sitting position. And we'll do a little bit of strength work for the abdominal area. So let's start out with one of the exercises we've been doing for the last few weeks. And that's trying to work on this kind of modified sitting V, where we kind of have our knees in a little bit and we're trying to hold ourselves up. Exciting stuff. So we're going to hold for a little while. If you want to entertain yourself, you can work on some mobility here. We're just kind of trying to keep that balanced position while changing your position on the floor. Now, depending on the surface you're working on, it'll be hard to do if you're working on carpet and stuff, so you don't have to work these pivots. Good. I'm going to go about another 10 seconds. That's it. Good. And set those legs down. Okay, let's work on the inside kick from the ground. So we're supporting ourselves on the foot and on the arm, and we're lifting the body up and kicking. And we're going to do 10 on each leg. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. And second to catch your breath. Second for me to catch my breath. Let's take it to the other side and lifting up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and sitting again. We're going to keep working on the abdominal area today. So let's sit back, rock back on our backs, and we're going to take the hands, we're going to put them underneath our lower back, and we're going to straighten out our legs in the front with the heels just off the ground. We're going to lift and down, but we're not going to let them touch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good, and bend the legs. And hands are going to go either on the chest or behind the head. And let's do some crunches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. And back to those hands underneath your lower back. And now we're going to switch legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and feet down. Good. Hands behind the head or on the chest. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Again, hands under the lower back. Now we're going to make a circuit here. We're going to go out, up, in, down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. And feet back on the ground. And one last set for our crunches. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Up to your sitting V. Plant the foot, plant the hand, come to the squat, and standing up. Okay. Let's pick up a little bit more with our heart rate, and let's get moving around on the balls of the feet. So heels are just going to be light on the floor, and we're just going to start to bounce. You can kind of think of this like you're skipping rope. Yeah, if you have a rope, you're welcome to bring it out with these kind of sections and just kind of tick, tick, tick your way along. That's it. Good, just keeping it loose. Arms can be settled. Just light on the balls of the feet. That's it. A few more seconds. And then start to move them in and out. You can always take breaks. You can always push harder. Good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go hands up to the ankle and down. 1. That's it. So you're stepping to the corners and just bringing up the arms a little. Lead arm changes. Good. Now we're going to cross legs. Good. Now we're going to walk. So letting the feet just exchange. Getting used to being on the balls of the feet. Good. Just a little bit longer. Good. Back now to the center and start to go from leg to leg. So you're shifting the weight foot to foot. You can go for a little bit bigger Shuffles if you want. Catch some distance. Catch, push, catch, push. Remember what we were talking about working last week, that every time you land, it's to build potential for the next change, the next move. So we don't want to be stiff. We want to catch, push, catch, push. Good. 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. Catch, push, catch, push. Catch, 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 catch. And we're doing it kind of aerobically, so we're bouncing a bit. You know, in a fight situation, you might be more settled, but we're working aerobics right now. So a little bit of front and back. Good. To the side to side. Other foot forward. Good. That's it. Nice. A few more seconds. Good. Side to side. And walk it to a slow down. Okay, let's work while we catch our breath a little bit. Let's stretch out our wrists. We're going to go fingertips and palm. Do some jiu-jitsu wrist stretching. And same on the other side. Remember, range of motion. Use it or lose it. Thumb on the back of the hand. Thumb fingers around the thumb pad. Push towards, twist towards the thumb. Good. No air space in the hand. Squeeze out all the air. You get a good stretch on your wrist, and you'll learn a bit about grip at the same time. Same on the other side here. So palm to us, thumb on the back. Squeeze and twist. That's it. Okay. Thumb to the ground, other thumb on top of the pinky area and wrap around. So you get a nice collar around the knuckles because you want to be able to learn how to grip and squeeze those knuckles. And then we're going to bring that in towards the chest, or creating a shape, a Z shape here. And then we're going to go down. So we're going to go in and down, in and down. We'll take it to the other side, down. Good. Last one. Okay, shake that out of those wrists. Let's get back to some mobility drills. Mobility is a massive part of what makes a good self-defense practitioner, a good fighter, is being able to be dynamically stable. So we've been working from our fighting position. In the last few weeks, we've been working on squares. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just getting used to shifting and moving our fighting position. So again, we're going to take some time and we're going to just kind of play. Now you could shift a little bit, slide in, slide over, slide back, and you're always going 1 foot, other foot, 1 foot, other foot, 1 foot, other foot. So if I want to step forward, front foot. I want to step to the side, I step with that leg. If I'm moving left, I move with the left leg. Step in, back leg to go backwards, side. So we're making our square. 2, 3, 4, come around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, change legs. So same thing. What we want to avoid is landing in unstable positions. So if this foot moves 6 inches, this foot moves 6 inches to bring the stance with us, 6 inches, so that we're not stepping up, we're not closing down and narrowing, we're learning how to keep this width and work the box. So 1, 2, 3, 4, that's it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. One more round. 1, 2, 3, 4. And as you get comfortable with this, start to think about how to work that a little bit more fluidly. Okay, so let's now work on pivots, because that's something else we've been discussing for a few weeks here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to use our front leg as the pivot point. So that means we're going to sink our weight kind of towards that. We're going to get on the ball of the foot so we can turn and bring that foot around. Now, like I was talking about before, we don't want to pivot and end up crossing our legs. This position needs to be transferred 90 degrees. Transferred 90 degrees, transferred 90 degrees. Good, so we're gonna go about, a minute or so. We'll change directions partway in. So turn, that's it, pivot on the front foot, pivot on the front foot, pivot on the front foot. One more round here. One, come around, two, around, three, and four. Let's change, other foot forward. So front leg is the pivot point. Turn, good, turn, 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 go around, turn, 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 turn. Okay, now, foundational movement exercises are things you can just kind of stack up and platform and work on together. So let's take some of our box work and add a front leg pivot. So we're going to shuffle over and then we're going to pivot. Good. We're going to shuffle back and then we're going to pivot. Good. We're going to step out to the side. Boom. And pivot. So we can kind of play around. Let's try and keep this from wandering too much. And let's reset in between. So we're going to go step out and pivot. Let's just work that one for a while. So we're going to step, we're going to pivot. So we're coming in on a 90. So we're stepping out on the 90, and then we're reorientating ourselves on the 90. That's it. So shuffle. That's it. Come back. We're using that lead leg. Step and pivot. Good. Come back. So we're combining parts of the box, stepping with pivoting. Come back. Last time on that leg. Step. Come back. Change your lead. So it's a 90 out. Step out on the 90. Pivot to come through. Come back and reset. So we're going to go step and pivot. Good. Come back. Set up again. Step and pivot. And really when I'm coming back, I'm pivoting and stepping back to where I started. So here I am sort of central. I'm out on the 90. I'm here. I'm pivoting. I'm getting myself back where I started. So I'm using some of that side to side of the box technique to help set me up. About 10 more seconds. That's it. Keep it moving. Good. Shift, move, come back. Last time for now. Step, come out. Okay. We're going to take the forward motion of the box walking exercise. So we've been going forward and we've been going back. We've been going side or we've been going side. Now we're going to go 45. So instead of stepping on the 90, what I want you to work on is stepping to the 45 and back in. So we're just going to work this off our lead leg for now. So we're going to go step to the 45, step back on the 45. Front foot steps on the 45 and forward. Back on the 45 with the back leg. Step and come back. Step and come back. Step and come back. A couple more. Step and come back. So 45 forward and back, forward and back. Change your lead. Forward and back. That's it. Forward and back. Yeah, forward and back. Forward and back. Last one on this side, forward and back. Okay, let's take our 45s and our lead leg pivots, put them together. So we're going to go 45 and pivot. Good, come back. So we're stepping on the 45 and we're pivoting 90 degrees to cut the straight line. So we're coming off on the 45 from our straight line and then we're pivoting to come back on that line. So step, pivot, come back. Good. Step out, pivot, and come back. One more time. Step out, pivot, and come back. Let's put the other foot forward. So step out, pivot, and come back to where you started. Step out, pivot, and come back. Stay in those legs. That's what we're strengthening. Step out, pivot, so not straight legs. Sit in the hips. Good. Come back. Again, step, pivot. Again, I'm pivoting and stepping back into my initial spot. Step out, pivot, step back and in. Okay, shake it out of those legs a little bit. And let's work on a little bit of striking now. So last week we were looking at the cross, hook, cross combination. And let's pick back up on that for a bit of a setup for now to get warmed up. So I'm going to go 1 and then hook and then cross. Good. 1, 2, and 3. That's it. 1, 2, and 3. Good. 1, 2, and 3. Nice. Now what you can start to do is you can start to work with our forwards and our backwards. So what I want you to do is I want you to move in for your cross, hook, cross, and I want you to move back to get back out. Ready? 1, oh, I threw a jab in there. 2, cross, hook, cross. That's it. 3, cross, hook, cross. 4, get in, cross, hook, cross. Try and time the cross with getting in. So you're kind of landing and transferring the mass, then pushing out of the leg, and then twisting back in, and then pushing back out. Last time on this side. Get in, cross, hook, and cross, and back, change your lead. So we're going to work the same exercise. So without the moving to start, cross, hook, cross. Feel the weight transfers. Push from the back leg into the front leg to back leg to front leg. Good. So I go 1, 2, 3. Good. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Now let's start to add the moving in. Get in. 1, 2, 3. Get back out. Change the heights of your hooks. Good. So you can go 1, hit low, hit high, move back. Good. And 1, 2, 3. Nice. 1, 2, 3. Move back again. So you're moving in. Hang in there, moving back out. One more time. Move it in. 1, 2, 3, and back out. Okay. We were also working last week on some roundhouse kicks, and we are combining that in. Let's do a few of those, but we're going to do a little bit of a different combination today. See, our time is almost running out here. So we're going to go stepping in. So there's that 45. When we are stepping to the 45, now what we want to do is we want to include a roundhouse kick as we move to that 45. So we step and roundhouse. Now you might be able to flick that up high. I'm going to be cutting around the side of legs. Good. 2, 3. Get that 45. Step on that 45. Hit, and we'll return back to that space. 4. Last one on this leg for now. 5. Good. Change other lead. So 45 degrees, coming forward on the 45, coming through with the shin, coming back where you started. 1. That's it. 2. Yeah. 3. Oh, I miss having people to hold shields and hit them. 4. That's it. And 5. Good. Okay, so let's change up a little bit what we're doing with the roundhouse today. And we're going to do a bit more stance work. So typically we're going to be working that roundhouse off the back leg. But what we want to do now is we want to exchange the back leg. So we're going to change the legs, throw the kick. Boom. Good. So you change the legs, throw the kick. Nice. Change and kick. Good. Change and kick. That's it. Change and kick. A couple more. Change and kick. Change and kick. Change and kick. Change and kick. Okay. So let's build a little bit on last week's progression. So last week we were working a play of roundhouse, cross, hook, cross. So let's do that same thing, but let's start this with that change. Roundhouse, cross, hook, cross. Good. Change. Roundhouse, cross, hook, cross. Good. Change. Roundhouse, cross, hook, cross. Good. Change. Roundhouse, cross, hook, cross. You can start to move that. If you want to really pound in here, go ahead. You're welcome to pick up the pace anytime as you play. That's it. A few more. Change. Roundhouse, cross, hook, cross. Good. Change. Roundhouse, cross, hook, cross. Last one. Change. Roundhouse, cross, hook, and cross. Good. Okay. Shake it out a little bit. Take the same thing, change it a little bit. Drill becomes different. So let's combine this idea of stepping to the 45. Step pivot, roundhouse, cross, hook, cross. Okay, let's give it a try. So I've got my left foot forward. I'm going to step out to the 45 on the left. I'm going to pivot, and then I'm going to come through with that leg, and then I'm going to go cross, hook, and cross. I'm going to come back to where I started. Let's try 5 of those. Are you ready? So step out, pivot, roundhouse, step in, cross, hook, and cross. Come back to that starting point. 2, shift, pivot, roundhouse, cross, hook, and cross. Come back, step out, pivot, roundhouse, cross, hook, and cross, and back. That's 3, 4, step out. Good. Roundhouse, cross, hook, cross. Back to a start. Last one. Ready. Step out. Pivot, roundhouse, cross, hook, and cross. Okay, we'll take it to the other side, and then we'll take it to the ground and have a bit of a stretch out to finish. Okay, so you could do any of these kind of plays that we've been doing. Sit back, work your roundhouse. Come in, work your roundhouse. Step to the side and get into this combination. This combination, you can apply it from all sorts of angles. We're just working on some mobility as we do this today. So stepping to the 45, pivoting around, cutting through, punch, hook, and punch. Come back to your beginning position. Ready? 1. Strike, strike, and strike. Come back to your beginning position. 2. Go. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, start to work a bit of breathing into this. So you want to get out, exhale. So you want to breathe as you move. Right, that's 3. Come on, out. Roundhouse. Cross, hook, and cross. Good, last one. Move back. Roundhouse, cross, hook, cross. And let's pivot back to center. Okay, catch your breath a little bit. Let's get ready to hit towards the ground, and we'll finish off with a little bit of stretching tonight. So, legs out to the sides. And that same focus we've been working on of as much as you can, try to first get so that your sits bones and your spine are around a 90-degree from each other. And if that takes some work, just stay there. Engage the lower abdominal area, find that. And so when you go to move forward, come through with the pelvis through towards the floor, not the chest towards the floor. That's it. And we've been talking about the idea from Qigong of scanning the body with the mind to try to coax release from the muscle groups. So slowing the breath down, try to find the areas that are the tightest, the ones that are restricting your motion, and imagine you can kind of breathe to that area, and the breath kind of helps to release it, or however you want to use your imagination to engage with this. You want to work on this not as a pull myself into the stretch, but as an exercise, and can I release myself into the stretch? Good. Okay, come on up, and let's turn that towards one leg and stretch. Same idea, try to move through the pelvis. Good, and over to the other leg. Okay, we're going to bring one hand up. We're going to bring it over. You can bring the other hand inside your leg as you reach over the head. And then we'll do the same on the other side. Good. Let's tuck one leg in. We'll put the other leg straight. And we'll reach down to the straight leg. And we'll reach in between the legs. All the while, breathing slow and really allow yourself to be intrigued by the stretch. Where is it binding? What's in the way? You know, don't stay static. You can make sort of small adjustments in the body to try and release into the stretch. Good. Let's take that to the other side. So we'll put the other leg forward, we'll bring the other leg in, and we'll reach down and stretch. Good. And reaching in between the legs. Okay, let's do one last stretch for today. We'll bring the bottoms of the feet together. You can leave these out in front of you a little bit. You don't have to bring them in too tight if the hips aren't going to allow it. And then try again to think of pulling the pelvis through and forwards a little bit. If you want to, you can get your elbows onto your knees and things of that sort. I remember days when my legs would just flop to the floor. And this is why we have to keep working on it, because it's definitely going to start to go away, even if you feel invincible when you're 20. Okay, foot down, hand down, foot slides behind. Come on up to your standing position. All right, shake it out a little. Thanks for joining me tonight. Hope you got a bit of a workout. Like I said, this is the last class for January. I hope to see you come along for the ride in February. We'll try and keep in shape while we're stuck at home. All right, we'll see you soon.